Here. Is it working? Okay. Please turn off cell phones or silence them. Stand for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance.
Lord, thanks for this day. Thanks for us being amongst the living. Ask that you continue to take care of us, Lord. Take care of this city. Help us to continue to work together, Father. Help us to have understanding even when we disagree. Continue to protect our citizens, protect our country. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any amendments or, we need amendments and approval of agenda.
Madam Mayor, we have no amendments, just approval of the agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda for Tuesday, December 6, 2022, 6:30.
Second the motion.
Okay, it's been properly motioned and seconded. Please call for the vote.
Moultrie,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Richardson,
Yes.
Kimry,
Yes, ma'am.
Glass.
Yes. All right, we got any awards, presentations, or appearances?
No, ma'am, not tonight.
Okay, moving along. We got a meeting meeting minutes for the special meeting on November 15th, 2022. Hold on, boy, I'm way back.
And when you have two like that, you could just ask for approval of the consent agenda, and that covers everything under consent if you'd like.
That's what I like. Thank you for telling me. I need an approval for the, what you tell me to say, Robert?
Consent agenda.
The consent agenda, please.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly motioned and seconded.
Moultrie,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Richardson,
Yes.
Kimry,
Yes, ma'am.
Glass.
Yes. Okay, we got any items pulled for discussion?
No, ma'am, y'all did not have any pull from the consent.
All right.
I have seen no speaker forms.
Yeah, nobody wants, no speaking tonight? Okay. All right, public hearings. We have none? Okay. General business, or is that,
We have one item tonight under general business.
yeah,
It was a previous item we had discussed and had intended to pull at the last meeting, and I'll defer to the city attorney.
okay.
Okay, I don't know any, all I know is what's in my packet, which is apparently there's a complaint that there's possibly residents operating a boarding house out of a residence. And I see that there's a couple pieces of documentation, this room for rent piece of paper here, and then the police chief police report that didn't really verify whether that was happening or not. So I can't really speak to what's going on at the residence, but I did look at your code to try to give you some advice about how this is addressed in your code. I think the issue that is being raised perhaps is that the person is operating without a business license. And I do agree that under your city code, you have to obtain a permit to engage in business, and that would include something like a boarding house. In this instance, and so I've heard that this person is not, it sounds like they're not admitting to the violation, but also not getting a business permit license. It's $40 really for up to 40 units, or $50 for 5 to 15. So it's not a very expensive license, and the penalty in your code for not getting a license is a citation for a quarter of the license fee. So if it were $40, it'd be a $10 citation. So that's not very good, and that's the penalty. That's not very good incentive if it is occurring to prohibit it, to write a citation that $10. But I did find language in this same business permit section that says that no license may be granted to conduct So I just asked the city manager if we could check and see, because under your land use code, it has to be, an R3 property in order to have a boarding house. So it's possible that they are violating your land use code. And that's a more serious violation. Violations of the land use code, come to the city council for hearing. So basically, the process would be that you issue, if you believe that you have enough evidence to prove that this violation is occurring, that there's a land use violation, you would issue a notice of violation, and there would be a hearing before you, the city council, to determine whether the violation was happening and to issue a penalty. So that's kind of what you got there as far as your legal remedies. I don't know what's happening there though.
I got a question. That is on commercial there, right?
It is.
Yeah. Now, the second thing would be if they operating up under kind of like a hotel or something like that, ain't nothing we can do with the state to try to deal with it?
I don't know about that. I don't know about what kind of license that they might need to get with the state. If it is zone commercial there, if the land use designation is commercial, that does allow for motels. I just looked at that, or hotels.
I met with the owners and tried to get them permitted through the city. We have a checklist of items that you need before we can issue one. And due to what he's doing there, there's a number of them to deal with Department of Business and Professional Regulations, fire code.
Oh, yeah.
And he was given that. I met with him in City Hall, and he did not respond. I spoke with the owner of the building as well. They don't have the state requirements which would enable us to issue a permit for them.
So we could report them to the state. That's what I'm saying. Yesterday, like, I'm running a funeral home, I got license up here. If my license go out, somebody can just report me to the state. So they will come in and shut me down.
Well, I don't know that they would shut you down.
Well, the state, oh yeah, oh yeah. And put you in jail if you continue.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah.
look at that more. I don't know what kind of license.
Okay.
Well,
I
it's
don't know
a-
exactly what's going on there.
Well, I don't know how many people's living in it and all that too, but that's a very bad thing, because I'm sure there's not fire alarms, a proper fire equipment, like, yeah,
Well,
we need to, and we're gonna need to beef up our little fees. So
yeah.
we're gonna,
The fees-
yeah, that's not gonna
Well,
work.
if it comes before you, the council sets the penalties.
You're right, if it
If
becomes,
it's a land use
if
violation.
it's a land use. But I'm just saying, in general, we might need to revamp that whole little,
And he shouldn't even be, anybody else shouldn't be able to get certain things without going through the state first. It would have to be stuff that come here from the state that they should show to the city.
And we usually
Before
are
we
able to
do that.
communicate and work with people, because we're pro-business, we like
Right.
business. We want it done right and legal, and, I just have not been able to get the point across or to assist them in what we need to issue a valid license. They don't have it, and probably can't get it.
Who is the true owner of the property?
Anita.
That's what I got a problem with. We're talking to one person and another person is interjecting, and reading this, it seems to me like the person that we should be talking to is the owner of the
I
property.
have,
They spoke with her.
I have.
and what she said.
When she would still answer she won't talk to me now, but when we were communicating was to deal with the gentleman.
I suggest we find out what we can do as far as like them having rooms there. If it's set up like a hotel, go through the state some kind of way and have the state come. Cause that'll stop it.
We could try to have the state DVPR,
Yeah,
but they are
yeah.
required to have it with what he's doing. We've already researched it. There are a number of things that they should have there to operate legally.
I
Has our-
believe you. No, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Has our fire chief gone in to make sure that it has,
It does not. It does
It-
not.
has killed it right there?
We did send the chief of police there because I was trying to follow the city requirements of the charter, the code, which that was a step for the chief to go verify what the complaints were alleging. I mean, it's happening. I mean, we've talked to the people, there's about 10 How many's in there now, Pam?
10 people living in there?
Or 12?
He got Americana Inn on here. Send that to
See,
the
that's what I'm
state
talking about.
and say that he operating as a hotel and let them come deal with it. They ain't gonna worry about none of that. They gonna come in and deal with it.
Sure
So if
try.
we get one from, if they get a complaint from the city and send this over here, American, they'll have somebody call to get a room. They sell it. And they'll shut it down.
I just, we've had a number of complaints on it. I didn't want even,
It's the
especially
double.
the council, to be
Talking about the two-story house.
thinking that we were allowing unlicensed, because we require other people to get licensed. We know about this, I mean, everybody knows about it, it's been going on a while, and I'm just frustrated with the, usually I'm pretty good working with people, help them get whatever they need, but the difficulty in working with this operator.
But I just feel like up on the state stuff, the city, we kinda can't just go in ourselves, and if we deal with the state, if you let the state deal with it, cause I don't even think our officers could go in there and just shut somebody down. I think if we go through the state, I guess up on the state, there's state law, so they can shut it down. We don't have nothing saying that they are even operating. We can't get into the house. They got this here. Send it to the state as a complaint and let them deal with it. That's what I would,
I would try that if you don't feel like you get a response. It sounds like you think maybe you'll respond. There's one more option, which is to get an administrative warrant and have your building official, which I understand we contract with Gadsden County to be our
Oh,
building
yeah.
official, go do an inspection.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if there are life safety, building code violations occurring, you could address it that way, but that's, but I agree, if the state takes action, that would be
That would be ideal.
ideal. If they don't, and we don't feel like we're getting a response, we could try this route of having the building official go in.
Well, is this under the outreach? Is this under the outreach, or is this just under,
She leased it to an
Americana.
individual.
okay, but, so it's not bought through that outreach?
The property is owned by Outreach, but she's rented it to, she don't know what he's doing, that's on him, you'll need to deal with him.
Okay, well, let's deal.
And if she
Got
ain't
to
got nothing in the lease agreement saying
Yeah.
that he can't do it, and it's in the zone commercial area, so what you do is, you stop him. You got to stop the person that's in it,
Yeah, well,
'cause she
I
ain't-
ride by there, but I just thought sometimes he might have had friends over, I didn't realize. Well, we need to get whatever it takes to get the state involved. I mean, if we can't, $10, $40, I mean, something's gotta be done, because that's not,
But we're getting numerous complaints on it, and
well, I know that,
and I don't
and
want people to think that we're not trying to follow up on it, and this was the avenue that is in our code, and wanted to bring it before the council. Okay, we'll pursue a complaint with the state.
Is this the only incident report that we have for that address?
It's the only thing we have in that writing advertising.
Is this incident report? Do we have any other incidents on report?
where you talk
Record
to
where he is
them,
called
or,
and had the police?
The police have been, well, the police have been there for disturbance type stuff.
Okay. And do you
so all
have,
it's documented.
and do you have any idea whose phone number this is on here?
I don't.
Okay.
Do I let the audience speak then?
Yeah, you can take a
If there's anyone that'd like to speak on this in the audience,
Well, I was going to say that
here, move up here just a little bit, Sophia, because with that, they're,
you need to sit
well, talk loud so the Facebook Live can hear you.
Oh,
Don't be
It
scared.
ain't nothing but 3 people on there.
Yeah, it's the same three.
So what I was gonna say is, when it comes to what you guys are talking about, good afternoon, everyone, I'm sorry. Because, I worked for Federal HUD and retired from them for a while. The first thing you probably wanna do is get with the county. You can put in a complaint with the county. The county will send out an official inspector to go in and inspect this particular establishment or building that you're talking about, wherever they're staying. Once they go in, the probability of it failing, because they're not gonna be up to HUD standards and codes, then they're gonna give them an allotted time to have it corrected. Now, because you're having the complaints with the people that are going in and out, or loud noise or too many people, it's probably not gonna be habitable either. So once they're actually coded for that, then it's not gonna go to the person that's leasing it or renting it, it's going to go to the owner of said property. Now, the owner of said property, upon, depending on what the lease says, if the lease says that this person has a right to sublease or allow other people in there, then now you're gonna have to deal with the legalities of, yes, you can sublease it, and then kind of figure that out. But the first step would be the county, because they can send somebody out legally, you know, you don't have to get like a warrant and, you know, go through that process. They could actually send someone out to inspect the property. And then they'll know based off of how many people are in the household, if it's habitable for the people that are in there. And so it really will make it go faster. And then after that, if she doesn't do it, he or she doesn't do anything, then the state comes in and they kind of just will shut it down as you see it.
Then with the county, our contact would be with the building inspector?
Yes.
Department or the health
Yes.
department?
The building inspector.
Building inspector,
Mhm.
okay.
Because if you call the health department, then you need to give them reasons as to why, you know, have you been inside of this building to see that it's, you know, it's deplorable, it's not habitable, it doesn't have hot running water, you know, the three necessities, which is water, electricity, of course, and then shelter. So you wanna make sure you're able to provide them with that information. But if you do with the building inspector, even if they were to say, well, we need this, they can help maneuver around it for you to get in there without having to wait on the state to, and then go from there.
Okay.
That's what the recommendation.
Well, I appreciate that.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am, if you,
As a longtime business owner, DBPR, Department of Business and Professional Regulation, and Chris can tell you, that's all you have to do is make the call and it'll read everything you want. That's it. They come in and they do it all. So you don't have to worry about anybody else, trust me. They will make inspections of everything and they will shut them down for you.
see, that's
Y'all
why
in agreement, that's what we'll do.
we
Oh,
agree.
yeah.
Y'all all okay with
It
it?
needs to be handled
Yeah, it
Well,
does,
American
before it gets
Indian.
out of,
further out of control.
yeah, further, yeah.
Well, I promise you, they will take care of all of your
They
problems.
advertising right next to the ice cream shop. That
Right, and there ain't an ice cream shop there no more. It's the assisted living folks. Jesus, people's lost their minds.
Every time I can.
All right, nobody else has any comments? All right, city manager?
Couple of items real quick, Second Harvest will be again, same place, same time on, that is Thursday, I'm assuming, December the 8th.
The eighth.
I want everybody to know, our Facebook audience, and then we received a request from the Gadsden County Men of Action. What the actual request is, they're having a banquet, and they had asked that the city buy a table, for the Gadsden County Men of Action celebrating 35 years of the annual holiday ball. It is Saturday, December the 17th, which is this Saturday, and, I told Sam, you know, bring to your attention if y'all are interested in buying a table for the banquet, or have individual invitations here, you can purchase those if someone is interested in going. They have, you know, you don't have to have a table, you can have individual seating as well. But, told him I would make y'all aware of that, and I have them here if anyone's interested. And that's all I have.
All right, Miss Attorney?
Hi, everybody. First of all, I wanted to let you know that that loan closed with People's South Bank. Everything went the way it needed to go, so that's all done.
Good.
And that's good. The other thing is I spent some time recently looking at your code, and in particular, I was looking at code enforcement things because of this issue, but, I do have some recommendations for, amendments to your code. One thing is pretty simple, and that is that the Chattahoochee City Code adopts a lot of various building codes, but not the Florida Building Code. And I do think it should be clear in your, but that's what Florida uses, the Florida Building Code, so that's a simple fix to have it adopt and incorporate the Florida Building Code, and that's what building inspector is gonna use for us when we use to go through our interlocal, like in this situation. So I do recommend that update. The other thing is that, I had heard that the magistrate had, a dangerous building case had been presented to the magistrate, and the magistrate said that he could not order a demolishment of the structure. And when I read through your code, I understand why that is, because you have, a general nuisance section that does talk about unsafe structures, but that general nuisance section does not give the magistrate abatement authority very clearly. It's more of a, just a citation that he would fine a property. And I actually think that should be amended because you want that magistrate to have that ability in a nuisance situation, whether it's an unsafe structure or you know, someone's got a junkyard in their front yard or something. That's your hammer, is to basically have that authority to say, if you don't clean this up, we're gonna come clean it up and we're gonna leave your property. So I do think that should be amended to make that clear. But there's actually a separate dangerous building code section in the Chattahoochee City Code, which is a very good section and clear about abatement. But those cases are heard by you, the city council, and not the magistrate. And I recommend amending that code, that section of the code, to let either the council or the special magistrate hear those types of cases. First of all, because it's quicker, you don't have to convene the whole council. And the other thing is that you want, especially a dangerous building hearing, to be done by a lawyer. Because if you're gonna end up at the end of the process knocking someone's house down, you wanna make sure that there was due process and it was conducted like a hearing. And so, I recommend that be amended, that section be amended. The other thing is that, your land use violations also come to you, the city council, and I recommend also making that come to the city council or the magistrate, so the magistrate can hear your land use violations. The other thing why is because anytime something comes to you, I can't help present a case to you. I'm representing you, so I can't present a case to you and represent you. So if any of your staff or consultants need me to help them present a case, I can do it to the magistrate, but I can't do it because I got a conflict there. So those are just some changes that I recommend to your code. I don't think it'd be very hard, but I did want to get to work on them unless it's some direction that you want to go.
And those would have to be amended by an ordinance, and there would be an ordinance for each one.
We could do an ordinance, yeah, that incorporated it all. We could do one big ordinance.
Okay,
It will strengthen your code enforcement
okay.
activities.
I'd probably do one ordinance just for the Florida Building Code, and then I would do a separate ordinance that handled all the different code enforcement things that I suggest.
Okay, well, let me make sure I understood, because I didn't hear very well what you said.
Okay.
You said that that either the special magistrate or the council could hear dangerous building violations, is that?
Well, right now, only you can hear them. It doesn't say in your code that your magistrate can hear dangerous building cases or land use violation cases. I recommend that you amend the code to say that you can hear them or the special master or magistrate can hear it.
Okay, does the special master have to agree to doing that before we, because it'll all be part of that other?
We hire them, we hire a magistrate.
Okay.
And apparently we've had some code enforcement hearings in front of the magistrate.
Mhm.
And a lot of local governments do it now, go through a magistrate, just because it's so cumbersome to have a whole council or
It's the best way.
code enforcement board convene.
Well, and I may have misunderstood, but I thought that our last council gave us advice that this council does not need to have any contact with the source of the project at all.
Right, when it goes to the special magistrate, it doesn't go, that's it. So basically, it's the case, you give direction to your staff and say, okay, we've got a code enforcement case, we want you to go to investigate it. If
Okay.
you find a violation, take it to the
magistrate.
magistrate.
Okay, I
It
got
goes
you.
to the magistrate, and if someone wants to appeal the magistrate, that actually goes to circuit court.
Well, that was what was throwing me, because I thought that the person
Yeah.
that would had the violation could say, I'd rather be heard by the council than the magistrate.
No,
And
you can decide, you can take yourself out of all of that. We could say, you don't hear it, the magistrate hears all this. I mean, I was just trying to,
Because, well, would that
It's not their
still
choice,
say in
though.
city, the council and or the magistrate? Will that still affect us like you were saying you couldn't represent us, but will that still, or should it just say to the magistrate?
well, I think it actually, if you wanna, I would just have it all go to the special magistrate. Sometimes
I agree.
councils don't want to give up that authority, so I didn't wanna assume you did.
Let me ask you this, legally, is it better to just let it go to the magistrate or have
It's,
could they come back and say, well, you got both options, and another lawyer could say we had both options and we didn't,
yeah, I think
you
it's
know.
cleaner just to have it be the special, if you're comfortable, and I think you should be. And honestly, I think a special magistrate, again, should be holding those hearings, because if you're gonna levy penalties or take property, or, I mean, you want to make sure that it's a hearing that has due process and it's a quasi judicial hearing that's.
I'm not so working.
Could we run into it the way you saying it would having the council and the magistrate? If they got a lawyer and they said that they wanted the council to hear, could we run into a problem with us saying, send it to the magistrate and not coming to us? No.
No, I mean, normally, the clients I've had, will just pick they'll either have a code. I actually, when I worked at Bay County, it could go to either the code enforcement board or the special master, but the county chose who it went to. And I've never seen it come up as an issue.
Okay.
But I do think it would be simpler and cleaner to just have all of your code enforcement stuff, whether it's a land use or a dangerous building or a simple nuisance, all go to the special magistrate.
And then it would clean up, it would be, the magistrate would have the authority, like the case we're dealing with the burnout. He could just make an order, the city's cleaning it up and we'll be placing a lien. I think that's what it
Yeah.
cleans up with it, cause you know, we've had success to a certain point. Till it's like these cases, I think, where we have to tear down, spend money and tear it down, and she's explained it, I think we can all understand it now, there's a problem in our code.
There's a problem in the code, the magistrate can't order that remedy, but, so normally what you do at that point is the magistrate will rule and say they agree, okay, I find a violation and this is a dangerous building. It does not like they say city tear it down, they usually give the property owner a certain amount of time, whether it's 30 days or however long, to comply, and if they don't comply at that point, they'll be fined, and it gives the city the authority to come in and abate the nuisance.
And I know, I think that Ken had mentioned this, that even if one council said they wanted to go to the meeting, that we couldn't go. Yes, I know the other lawyer said that, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Just not saying that we saying anything, but we couldn't go to a meeting period. Like, when that magistrate have a meeting, we're not allowed to go.
Well, he may have had an opinion that you shouldn't go.
Right.
That you could go. if you
So
wanted
you
to.
could, that's what
Could,
but you just
could
couldn't.
have a quorum there, I mean, I would.
I know that all of us couldn't, you know, but I'm saying, could we go and just sit in and listen?
You could, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure Jerry had a reason for giving you that advice, but I have friends that go. I'm-
Well, he basically said that we couldn't go. So you know,
We don't need to go.
yeah, I don't mind saying that we don't need to go, but I just wanted to know, could we go? You know,
They should stay out of code enforcement,
Okay.
because they ultimately might sit
Well, I
as
can
a
see why
body.
you would wanna stay out of it.
I do.
yeah, you know, anything could, let's just say you had a road magistrate, you might wanna sit in, you know, people start saying, hey, this person doing it, you just sitting in, you can't say anything, but at least better, one could sit in and just look,
I think one could, yeah.
yeah, because you never know, you know. You wanna try to protect your citizens too.
I understand what, I guess his angle is that you may, down the road, be making decisions about the property that, and you wanna be unbiased, but I don't know, I don't think it's a problem.
Can I ask for questions? Okay, anybody in the Comments, questions? Yes, sir, Mr. Simmons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Isaac Simmons, 24 English Street, Chattanooga, Florida. Well, the issue I have and the concern I have is that, as a citizen, we elected you, the governing body, to make decisions what's best for the people in our community, our city. And it seems that there is a shift to want to take a power, authority, the rule to make decisions and shift it to someone else to deal with the responsibility to the magistrate when you have the power to make decisions. If I sat in that seat, I would never want to give away any power that I would have to make a decision for the city of Chattanooga and leave it to one person. Seems like the five of you come together, make a decision, and determine whether they violating a code or whatever, and then you go through the process, just like you're doing now as you relate to the issue you got on Madison Street. But I really have a concern of the preference that you're setting to basically relieve yourself of a responsibility or conflict that may come up. There's a possibility that you could sit here and you may not even agree technically with what the magistrate brings before you. So how do you handle those cases? You know, he comes, he want to tear down your grandmama building or whatever it is might be. And most people can't meet these guidelines and these codes and policies because they don't have the funds. So you always want to be in a position where you can sit down and be sympathetic with the citizen and make a decision what's best. It's easy, you know, if the police officer right here said, you know, somebody break a crime, they send the magistrate down there and get them and put them in jail. I don't have to worry about anything. It's easy to shift it someone else. It's your responsibility as a governing body to do that. Never give that up. You give it up, you're gonna be sorry about that. All it takes is a meeting. You only meet once a month. So meet, make decisions. It's on your shoulder. You know, you said you wanted a position. You're dealing with the role and responsibility of the city council. Well, make a decision. A magistrate this. Things gonna come up where the magistrate gonna make a decision that somebody up there ain't gonna be in agreement with. Then they got a case coming up that relates to an issue that was brought before you, and you, Mr. Buck, you can't even go to the meeting technically. You want to go, you can't even go to it because it's a conflict. Never give up the control and the power and authority that you have to somebody else make the decision. I think it would be, in my turn, putting them out an asinine decision to do that. Thank you. And I'm upset about this, okay? It don't make sense. Don't give up your authority. Represent the people, make the city, make tough decisions. Could somebody go make a decision on this issue that you can't make? You can make it just as good as they can. You got 5 minds working on it where you got 1 over here. You know, and I apologize for my attitude.
You're fine.
And that magistrate won't be from here, but all of you are.
Well, the magistrate is in place, so basically like what he's saying, could we be the final determination if it came to that after the magistrate? So if something came, what options do we have? What options do we have if we start running into that type of situation with the magistrate?
Normally, a magistrate or a code enforcement board, an appeal from that body goes straight to circuit court. And that's by state law, because we follow chapter 162, and that's the process. So, it's not like, oh, I didn't like what the magistrate did, and I'm gonna.
Right.
I mean, I'm not, you have to make the decision. For my purposes, what I'm most concerned about is that the hearing be run, as a legal proceeding, and that you just are really careful to make sure that you follow the quasi-judicial process. And I can help, if the council chose to have that function, I can help you through that process. I can't help present that case to you. But I'm most concerned that I would want to make sure that there was due process, that it was run correctly.
That option where you said with both of us being on there, if it giving us both options before it goes straight to the magistrate, could we make that decision for it to go to, and you recommend us whether it need to go to magistrate. And that way it's not taking away all our power.
That's what you have now.
You know, but most of them is just going straight to the magistrate now, pretty much.
Code enforcement.
It's not coming, it's not, you
You
know,
don't
it's
want to hear
not,
all of
It
it.
is.
yeah, they pretty much going to the magistrate. They ain't coming to us.
And dangerous buildings.
There's nothing coming to us for, with anything with code
Yeah,
enforcement.
because-
They've all been settled, he's.
I actually think your
Yeah.
nuisance code just goes to the magistrate.
But it's going to the magistrate. Ain't nothing coming up here for
Right.
us.
And that's.
All the decisions been made by the magistrate. So maybe what we can do is have that option, and then let our lawyer recommend to us, and we go from there.
You mean in
you
the
know.
two codes I talked about, the land use and the dangerous buildings?
Well,
Build it in as an option. I mean, the other
The-
benefit is, just if you have a, emergency situation,
mhm.
you can pull together a magistrate hearing a lot quicker than a council meeting sometimes. But anyway, those are just, I'm just apparently opened a big can of worms on you tonight, but I was
Fine.
looking at your code.
It's fine.
Well, that's what you need
It's
to do,
fine.
you need to
It's,
explain
you
to,
know,
we need to be explained
it's
to.
fine.
And we need to tweak it, because we're in two different cases, we're to the point, and we've never had to get that far. We've been able to work out things with everybody, but when you start talking about taking and tearing down and spending money, I don't think your attorney's comfortable where we are without tweaking it.
Well, we can't get there
And the magistrate,
the way it's written.
without saying that, has made us, because he's done very good as you're going through the process and small penalties and getting things resolved. But when we pushed on this big one, you know, he just hasn't took that step, and this may be why. He just hasn't explained that there was some weaknesses in our code.
Well, yeah, they doing pretty good, but if we keep the option of, I'm glad you said that, keep the option of having us on there, and what Mr. Simmons said, that would give us the opportunity to do something. Cause I know on certain things now, we don't really have the opportunity to do anything with the magistrate. You know, it's not, so I think it'll be good to have that option, rather 80% of the time it go to the magistrate or not. You know, at least we got the option to deal with it. You know, maybe you can get us something to have us the option for it to come to us. So if we do start having a problem, and we can't even go into the meetings, or it ain't recommended for it to go into meetings, at least we have the option to get it back here.
Well, I
You know.
didn't, well, I don't want to, confuse you though, because it's not like, if you don't, say it goes to the magistrate and you don't like what the magistrate did, you don't get to.
No, I ain't saying that.
You don't get a redo.
I'm not saying that if let's say if we got a good magistrate now, and the magistrate changed, we can't even go into the meeting. We start getting a lot of complaints from the citizens. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We need to be able to have the
I
option
didn't
for,
tell
you know.
Your prior lawyer apparently did, but I agree that.
Right. I didn't like that. I didn't like
More
it.
than one
You know.
to a hearing.
Yeah, I didn't like that. We couldn't go. You know, you should at least be able to go, because your citizens complaining and you can't even go in to, you know, you don't know us, you know. But I think we should have the option, regardless of whether it go there 80% of the time. And we got a lawyer here that can step in and say, hey, you know, y'all might not need to bother this. You know, but have the option.
But to my understanding, what she's saying is that it's for certain parts of it. It's not the whole ordinance that you're trying to change. Am I correct?
You have different sections of your
Mhm.
code. One is a dangerous building section, one is a nuisance section, and one is your land development code. And in each section, there's a code enforcement process. In the dangerous building section, those cases go to you, the council. In your nuisance code, those cases go to your magistrate, but the magistrate doesn't have the authority to abate the nuisance that I read
Okay.
very clearly. In your land use code, those cases, land use violations go to you, the council.
So in what
it's
you're
just not consistent you could consistently make it an either or.
I would say while you're looking at it, look at it and give us a recommendation, see if we can add an option to be on there, even with the one that we're not doing. Whether we do it or not, at least give us the option to be able to do it. Since you're gonna go through and look at the other ones, just have it where we have it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know, the council may agree majority of the time not to even do it, but at least have the option there since we're gonna change it, you know. Not do just one part, have us to have the option for all of it. Because magistrates might change. You know, the person that we got here, we may could start having problems. Then you, like Mr. Simmons said, you got one person that's making that decision. And we're not even able to come in here and look and see what's going on.
Would that be just for the bills, or are you talking about?
I'm talking about all of it.
Overgrown grass and all those cases?
Well, give us the option, not saying that we would do it, but have us, at least have us an option so that we at least can do it. You see what I'm saying? We may never do it, but at least give us the option where we can,
Okay,
you know?
any other direction?
I think it needs to be consistent throughout the ordinances. I think and if consistency is what we need, and we can be constant with either or to the master, with whatever, or to the council, it needs to be consistent.
Right.
All the way through.
But if we're not consistent with how we're doing problem A and problem B and problem C, because if you have one that's a nuisance and that nuisance happens to be a burnt-out building, then which one does it go to? Because
Right.
each one's different. So and I'm not very comfortable making legal decisions, so I think the master is the way to go. But that's just my personal opinion. And I don't think we're giving up any of our power, because in my opinion, it's not much difference in taking the opinion of the special master than it is to have it come before us and let's us turn around and ask the lawyer. We're still asking for her opinion, or the lawyer's opinion. So that would be another opinion that we're just looking for one of.
If you got the lawyer opinion though, you got 5 people sitting here helping make the decision.
That's true.
And I'm not saying that we will be doing it, but don't take away the ability to do it. Cause we don't know what the magistrate, I ain't never been in here. You know what I'm saying? So he could just be having a bad day for a couple months. You know, so let's give ourselves the option, regardless of whether we do it or not. And then on all of it. That's what I'm thinking.
All right, a person for the ice, come on up.
Chairman Glass, 1002 Morgan Avenue. Something I just wanted to tell y'all from, and she'll know this too, from many years, y'all know me, I've had to deal with every building code. I've enforced stuff at universities, hospitals, anything state-owned, you name it, I've been involved in it. With that said, when you go with legal Florida statutes, you can twist them any way you want to. Let's just say our heads, they would come to me and say, I need a resolution, whatever word you want to, your recommendation, I need a final judgment on this. And I learned to say, yes, sir, Chief, which way do you want it to go? And that depends on which statute and which exception and which tree branch you follow. You can make it where you keep this house or you don't keep this house by following exceptions. It depends on who you have as the source for your information. If you have, and they use this, so if you have somebody that you have one person who is making your total recommendations for you and you have no idea what's going on in the background, he can do whatever they want to.
True.
And that's just fact of life. Not making it up, not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong. That's how it's done. So y'all need to think about that. You give up all your power, somebody can twist it any way they want to, and you have a good person in. But like what Chris keeps saying, what if the replacement, he has, well, I don't like all this. It might not have been that bad, but he has a personal objection to it. Not saying that'll happen, but it's just something as elected officials, you owe it to yourself to think about your public, who put you there. Something to think about.
Anybody else have any comments? Anybody up here?
So
So what way do we wanna lead the attorney?
I say look at it with giving both options. That don't mean that we're gonna always do it, but just at least have it, since you're gonna go through the other part, you do it all. And then if you run into something that's not looking right, she's the lawyer, she'll be able to come and tell.
But it needs to be consistent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
with
think
him
it
on
would
that.
be
If it's in
consistent.
one, it needs to be
It'll
in
be
all.
consistent, yeah.
If it's in one, it needs to be in all. I'm in agreement with that too.
Thank you.
And see, I'm gonna call Jerry and tell him, I told you were wrong, Jerry.
And he is gonna do it.
You know what?
He's gonna do it.
And that's one of the reasons most of us were backing off from that, is because we were told that we should not participate or attend any of those meetings, and that's the reason it was written the way it's written now. But now that we
code has
have
been in there.
But we only can one at a time.
I don't think he rewrote this. I think this is the code that's been in there.
Yeah, it's been in there a
He
long
hasn't
time.
changed this. This code has been there all the time.
Well, when we
But
did
since you're
the
gonna change it,
magistrate, you
Yeah.
can change it now,
you need to
change it
change
all,
it so that we will have equal.
equal.
Okay. I understand what you're saying.
We'll take care of it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You have anything else?
Merry Christmas.
I
Okay.
forgot to mention one thing, Madam Mayor, if we could, is, the parade, I thought it went well, there was a heck of a crowd in town, appreciate all y'all coming and representing our city, and, think it all went
I think
better than last year.
I think it was wonderful. There was only one problem I had, and we're gonna have to nip that in the bud. We had 2 Santa Clauses. There's not 2 Santa Clauses. We're gonna have to tell businesses that they can't have a Santa Claus. Cause when I turned that curve and there was a Santa Claus, I was pissed.
They had a bootleg Santa Claus in the room.
I was pissed. You don't do that to children. I work with children every day. You don't do that.
I noticed that.
One
So
of
we
them
need to
didn't
figure
even
out
have no
before
bid on it.
next year what we need to do to tell the businesses, and I want every business to participate, but we don't have, you can't do that to children.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You
That
can't.
was wrong.
And that's wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong.
And I don't appreciate it at all, because Cindy had worked hard, Miss Medley worked hard. They worked it out together to keep the same one in the same vicinities, and here we go out the door, and there's Mr. and Miss Claus.
I know bootleg.
Bootleg.
I mean, you don't do that to children.
Bootleg.
My grandchildren wanted to know why 2 Santas, you know, they didn't understand that.
And I don't. It was wrong, and I don't appreciate it at all. Because y'all had worked hard to work it together, where the same Santa was in the park and in the parade. I mean, what we're gonna do? Put 60 different Santa Clauses on every float now?
Well, we did have 5 Grinches, but, you know.
Well, you know, that's a little different than Santa Claus. But we're gonna have to figure out something next year for that, because I
Yeah,
did
we
not
need to-
appreciate that at all.
That was nice.
Because I know how children's minds think.
Yeah. He like, that Santa Claus, I just seen you, didn't
We thought we addressed it, you know?
Yeah, well, we'll address it this year, and if I'm still, yeah, I'll be on campus still at Christmas next year. And if I need to address it, I will, because that's not right. That's not right to children, it's not right, the parents have to explain it to children.
I understand.
And I do appreciate y'all doing what y'all did, working together. That's what we have to do as a community. And that's what y'all tried. Yes, ma'am?
I didn't say Sophia Grandison, 5808 Memorial Blue Star Highway.
Just talk loud.
I don't think I have any jurisdiction when I come to these meetings, because Mr. President has told me that I live out there.
Yeah.
However, I am a native and I live in Chattahoochee Court. But I wanted to say, please keep me informed. I don't know if I need to look on the website or in the newspaper, or if it's on social media, of any events that you guys are having, or if you have things that are coming up, that, could involve some volunteering or some participation, because I'm really active and love doing that type of stuff, and so it would be great. And then I work with, teenage girls, and so I always try to keep them involved with, serving the community, volunteering, and doing things of that nature, so it would be great.
Follow our
For us
Facebook page. Everything we do is on our Facebook page. Okay.
And if they're of a certain age, we can give them community service hours towards the future
Right.
scholarship.
Because here's one here. My
Yeah,
daughter's
and I mean, they gotta have so many, and it is hard to get them, but yes, that's wonderful, and like, I know you do that girls group, so there's always places when we can help. And we wanna help them get their hours.
Thank you.
She get water from us anytime we talking about water.
Mr. Kimry, Ken's over here just to get you. Mr. Kimry, you got anything to say?
There are those of us who were on the not quite so good list as a child that would have considered two Santa Clauses a good opportunity to double up. So, that may be,
The real one will go get you them gifts.
something,
You gonna end up with cold.
you don't get a chance to, you might get one somewhere else. But I would like to thank everyone that was involved with the parade, from the people that planned the parade, to the people that helped the businesses get ready, to the people that decorated the streets, and to the people that came to visit and caught the candy and helped little kids get that. It was fun. It was nice to know. I have been told by a couple of people that we outdid Quincy this year, and that just tickles me twist-legged. To be able to do that and get them where they can do like that. But I hope each of y'all has a good holiday season to celebrate in your way. We will start. We've had a good year this year, and I hope next year we'll have another good year. To the council, it's fixing to be time to start with the old B word. So if you have anything on your budget list, write it down. Talk about it. We'll figure out what we can do, and we'll go from there. We'll see if we can get. If you got one or two projects you want, that's fine. We'll see if we can get them done. And the Christmas, the Christmas parade.
That could go in the budget for next year, some dollars for the Christmas parade.
Well,
Yeah.
when the time comes to talk about it, you need to have it ready. Put the numbers on the paper, put pen to paper, put some zeros and dots.
I don't hear very well.
I hope next year we have a better year than we had this year.
Right, we don't wanna run a bootleg parade, we need some dollars.
Right, we just gotta figure out where they come from. Just plant a Dollar Tree this spring, so we'll have something to grow, and we'll go from there. But I hope we all enjoy ourselves over the holidays and have a good holiday, and come back ready to go and get some more stuff done next year. Have a better year next year we did this year.
Yes, sir.
And Merry Christmas to all of y'all and all of y'all. That's all I got.
All right, Miss Ann Williams?
First of all, let me just say happy holidays to everyone. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for tuning in. I think Chattahoochee had a good year so far, with everybody putting their hands together and working to make it possible. The parade this year was larger than the parade that was last year. It appeared as if it was more people who came out this year, which was great. That was a great thing. To get us, we are on the map again. People are still talking about what a wonderful parade it was, and thank both of the groups who came together and worked this thing as a family. Mr. Preston, thank you for the hard work that you and your workers has done to make this city to be better. Thank you very much. Attorney, you're just coming in and we'll make it a little hard for you, aren't we? But that goes along with the territory. Hopefully next year it won't be as bad, that we can get all of the ordinance straightened out, that we can have a even smoother sail next year. The Lord spares us. Thank all of the councilmen for being able to work with you all. Great job. Police Department. From looking at your report, you all have done a lot of work keeping the city in order. We thank you so very much. That's all. Oh, Second Harvest, please don't forget Second Harvest on Thursday. Same time, same location. And that's all I have.
Pam, could we get a few boxes for the pantry uptown?
Ma'am?
Could we get a few boxes for the
Yes,
pantry uptown?
Yes, ma'am.
Let us know.
Yes,
how
ma'am.
many you want.
We'll make sure, we try and make sure every time that it's something left that we can take care of that. And
We
I'll,
can't hardly keep it filled up.
okay, I'll make sure on Thursday that we have some, that we can do that. And thank you for reminding me.
All right, Mr. Moultrie, I'm starting your 3 minutes.
What we had on South Side?
The architect is working on the plans for the building. He was in town today.
He ain't finished them yet.
So it'll be a while. It'll be a while. They'll bring you some,
Don't rush it.
probably start with about 50 or 60% plans for y'all's input.
Okay, all right. And I know, our rec is doing good. I see
Yes.
Stan is, you know, he's really pushing hard and he loves the kids, so, I think, we did a good job with having him here.
You know, he was at the head of the parade with some
Oh,
of the
yeah.
kids.
Oh, yeah, and they was very happy. And the parade went good, and it's actually good at night, you know. It's actually good, a good atmosphere. And the city looked good right after, you know. I know a long time ago, people used to talk about how bad the city looked after a parade and all them people, and it still looked just as, looked nice to me. Glad to work with their council. I remember times I used to hate to come to some meetings, but it's good to work with their council. Glad that we can disagree and still be all right with each other. That makes a difference. And here comes the man with all the money. But I'd like to thank the police department for what they done, and to our officer here tonight. You know, a lot of times people don't understand when people have death, how hard it is. Her professionalism that she showed that family made a big difference. And thank you for doing that, because that really helped them out a whole lot. So, you know, sometimes people don't get recognized and they don't ask to be recognized. But, you know, she went beyond duty to make sure that they were okay. And that says a lot. And I want you to know that they appreciate it. To the citizens, it's good to come to the meeting, whether you have, you know, when you come in and speak, it makes a difference. You know, there's nothing wrong with taking the advice of our citizens that come in, because we're human. And I'm glad to see, like, the citizens that's here. Mr. Simmons grew up with Mr. Simmons, grew up with a lot of the people here, and I have respect for Mr. Simmons and Mr. Ira and people I grew up here, and it makes a difference when you come up and speak. Now, I tell people, since I've been on this council, I don't so much as worry about whether I'm gonna get put off or not. When people like Mr. Simmons come there, it's because I grew up with him and I respect him. You know, that's a difference when you're in a small town and you can respect the people you grew up around, and you know they mean well. I know that there are citizens here that I grew up around. If I disagree with them, they're not going to be upset. So I'm always happy to have people come here and speak and tell others, because that makes a difference. Your voice ain't being heard, or people complain because you're never coming up speaking, or you're not talking to your council on the outside. You know, the same people in this room speak to us outside of the council board. And people wonder, well, Y'all didn't do this, y'all didn't, because you don't ask. You know? We have enough respect for our citizens. If you ask us, we'll listen to your opinion. You know, and that makes a difference. So I appreciate the citizens that's here, and I have seen it throughout the time I've been here. The few numbers have made a difference what go on this board. All you got to do is come and express. You know, there's nothing wrong with me being wrong sometimes and listen. So tell others to come up and not just complain and never say nothing to us. You know, so I appreciate that. Thank our lawyer. I like our lawyer. Our city clerk. I hope we done took the interim off our city clerk, right?
Yeah.
Good. Our manager, and I pray everybody have a good Christmas. My 3 minutes up.
Yeah, about 4 minutes ago.
Okay, all right. You gonna yield me some of your time?
No, you are correct though, and I tell people that.
Yeah.
I've noticed if people, it makes a difference if people's in this audience or not in this audience. I've been going to school board meetings, and it does mean a lot for people to be in these seats. It means a lot, because I don't know everything like about electricity and all that, but I have people that do, and I do appreciate that, all of it. And I do appreciate y'all coming in and liking and loving Chattahoochee just like I do. I mean, you don't not love it or you wouldn't be here. All right, Miss Ann.
Well, everything everybody just said. Y'all have a Merry Christmas on December the 17th at 5:30.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna see all y'all again in the park at Southside.
At
5:30. December the 17th.
At 5:30.
Yes.
Please, somebody text me because I can't remember nothing.
I'll send
Yeah.
you
How many Santa Claus y'all gonna have?
We were gonna have one.
They're gonna have one, but 30
We
Grinches.
can control that.
Well, good, because I only see two.
Cindy, what's the official name on there?
The name, as far as, it's Trina's 3rd annual Christmas in the Park.
Okay, that's Trina's 3rd annual Christmas in the Park, and it's every year, December the 3rd Saturday in December. Christmas parade is the 1st Saturday in December every year. Those 2 dates are marked in December.
And we got lots of stuff planned, so.
Yeah. So come on out and see y'all next year.
All right, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Yes, ma'am.
We know that January is coming up, and we have Martin Luther King
Yes.
representative here. He didn't give us the date, time, location, or anything. Would you like to do that?
Some of the things that we progressively done now. Our name is 812 Hero Street, order. Greetings to the mayor and all the council members and all the person people here in the audience. So far, we're in the process of annually getting meetings every Thursday up until the Thursday before the event itself in January. And at this point, since we have had what we call the 3 event thing, is because of COVID, we had to abandon this so-called 3rd event, which was that Sunday, and the following of the rest, day. We are actually in the process of trying to do 3 things this year. Hopefully, we will have the Sunday, we will have a fellowship gathering at the People's Church, and all that's in the making right now. And more detail will be out on social media, as well as our personal letters will be putting out information to all the churches. We're inviting them, as well as on that Monday, we're gonna have the annual breakfast at the elementary school. We're in the process of getting that done right now. And, after that, we do have the walk out to Southside, Jesse Wilson's Park. We're actually working on that right now. And progressively, we're getting things in perspective. So there's more information will come down as we progress and get things planned specifically. And then I'll come back here in January and I will present everything. And plus you'll be getting information, all y'all will be getting information. And you certainly have an invitation to come out on Thursdays, because we'll be doing every Thursday up until the trial of the event in January.
Now, will the breakfast, because Miss Chapman called me, and are y'all be doing the breakfast together, or is that separate, the two different groups?
Ms. Chapman is our secretary. We'll be doing,
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, she's in both, okay, because she called and asked me about speaking, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't,
Yes, that's.
I didn't want to pick
fine.
one over the other, you know what I'm saying? That's why I
No,
just
you're
wanna
fine, you're fine, actually.
I want to be at both of them if there's two of them.
You're fine, thanks those questions, it's okay. I'm just the chairperson under your.
Okay,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah,
I'm
okay.
the city council.
I gotcha.
Planning.
Well, I knew there was
committee.
two, you know, and
Yeah,
I
there's
just,
another functioning group, and, that's fine, but we're actually doing what we normally do.
Okay.
This will be the 20th year, hopefully, and possibly I'll be stepping down probably.
No.
The 20th year of 30 year, so that's what we're planning on so far.
Okay.
Everything is in place, and plus you get more information as things materialize, of course, I do that every year.
yeah.
You don't wanna pre-say something and things don't turn out. But hopefully we're planning on doing the three segmental things that we normally do, which came before we had the COVID incident, so that's why we got to involve.
Yeah, the year y'all did it at the church and had the music day,
Yes,
that was wonderful.
yes, we're doing the music, hopefully with the music, and I'll be involved in that as well. So any ideas that anybody have, we're working on Thursday to present things to the committee, the people that are actually working with them, that have been working here for quite a few years now, and, all y'all are welcome to attend and give suggestions, even all the citizens, whoever wants to come this Thursday. It's every Thursday. You're welcome to come and give your suggestions and speak on whatever.
What time is it?
It's at 5:30, I'm sorry.
5:30.
5:30 every Thursday, leading up to the main event itself. Thank you so much, Ms. Williams, for inviting me to come up and say some things. I was planning on talking, but I'll do more as it get closer. Thank you so much.
Mr. Personnel, right quick, like, for the walk on Monday, can we make sure that there's police assistance when the walk happens?
Yeah, we always,
Okay.
yep,
We always
yeah.
do.
I just wanna make sure.
Yep. And I'm sure that we'll be getting together. I haven't been to one of their meetings this year, but last year I went to one when they kind of finalized things, but we'll do what we always have.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
You on board, you on board.
And like I said, I appreciate all the community, and y'all did a wonderful job. And the other night, there was this is how special Tallahatchie is. The other night after the parade, we went to WBC, and there was a girl that grew up down south. She came with a friend of mine, and we was all talking in the whole restaurant. Every table was mixing and mingling. And before she left, she's like, I've never seen a whole town just mix and mingle and talk and act like it's nothing. And I said, that's why we are who we are.
I was there.
Yeah. And she was just shocked. She was like, I can't believe y'all just all, like a boy I had not seen since I graduated high school 31 years ago. And he works here in Chattahoochee, and it was just like we had never not seen each other. I mean, it was just like yesterday. And that's what makes us special, because it does. And it takes everybody to do this. And I appreciate
Everybody
it.
certainly come together for the parade. I mean, everyone.
And police department, please stay safe. I know that, you know, holidays people start drinking and driving and losing their minds. Y'all stay safe, because you have a family to go home to too. And if nobody has anything else, meeting adjourned.
And did you say, this is the one that goes to emo?
I'm gonna tell her about it, so she had
Okay.
never gotten the information.